Now, when that red light's on, I think we're on.
Yeah.
So, in essence, we've already started.
Sort of.
Do people like what do people prefer when you do online polls? Do they prefer a definite beginning, like, welcome to Thought Spiral with your host, Andy Kindler, and Josh Elvis Weinstein. Tonight on the show, Andy will complain. Josh will also complain. Andy will complain some more. Josh will act superior, like he's not screwed up as Andy. Andy will get angry at Josh. Why isn't he angry? Like, what does he think? He's better than him? And then they will forget what they're talking about. Then then Andy will say, I forgot what I was talking about, making it worse. And then, an hour and a half later, somehow you have gold.
Okay, let's do a sound check. I think we need to start now.
Oh.
What the?
I'll never be able to reproduce that again because it wasn't that great.
No, you had flow, my friend. You had flow.
I had it. Flo,
the insurance
lady?
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking more.
I was
thinking more Kiss My Grits, Flo. But.
Oh, Flo from Alice. Alice.
Yeah.
Doesn't live here anymore? No, Alice.
Both.
How? Do you know who came up with Kiss My Grits?
I don't. I don't know if it was in the movie or not. I don't think it was.
It was not in the movie. I don't think. The movie was way different from the.
It was.
Just like the movie.
Diane Ladd played Flo in the movie.
Right.
Which was weird because then she came back and was on Alice, but not as Flo.
Oh. That's an interesting thing. That show, the movie, and the show. The movie was actually pretty intense, right?
Yeah, it was a Scorsese movie.
How about was it?
I think so.
How about the movie where, oh my God. Folks, I'd like to apologize in advance. I have not smoked pot. I'm not high, which would be the same thing.
Maybe, depending on the pot.
Yeah, I'm not on a speedball. And I've already forgotten what I was going to say right at the top of the show.
Alice. You were talking about Alice is the last thing I remember.
Kiss My Grits.
Yeah.
Did that take off like a big thing?
It was the 70s and you needed a catchphrase for your breakout character.
Like Kid Dynamite?
Like Dynamite, like Sit on It, like...
Where did Sit on It from?
From Happy Days.
Now, Happy Days, I maintain, is just a terrible show.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The movie. What was the original movie it was based on? It was
not an original movie. It was based on a segment from Love American Style.
Truer Than the Red, White, and Blue, ooh, ooh, ooh.
That's the one.
But with Bernie Capel?
On an occasional episode, sure. Or he was one of the sort of interstitial players, wasn't he?
Yeah, I just couldn't get enough of that show.
Maybe he wasn't. Stuart Margolin was.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. I couldn't get enough of that show, and yet I didn't understand one thing they were talking about.
That show is emblematic to me of being homesick from school. That is like daytime weekday rerun in my head. And
did you ever see Here Come the Brides?
No, I never seen it.
You heard of it, though?
I've heard of it, sure.
You know who was in Here Come the Brides?
No.
The guy that Julie. Bobby Sherman was in it.
Oh, okay.
Now, Bobby Sherman, many people might mix him up with Davy of the Monkees. Or Davy from Davy and Goliath.
Gee, Davy.
Oh, Davy.
Aren't you an English pop star?
Oh, Davy. I didn't know that was a Christian show when I was a kid.
Really?
They didn't say all dirty Jews leave the room.
No. You can be Christian without being vehemently anti.
Not until the last 100 years, you know.
It's true. I mean, you didn't have the cred.
Not traditionally.
Right.
Well, first of all, they think that we were...
That was what Martin Luther was protesting.
What was he protesting?
We don't we're starting to like the Jews a little much.
Yeah, Martin Luther, I don't know what his trip was, but...
he nailed it up, actually.
I don't really know what happened with the Jesus thing. I just know that we were told as kids in religious school that it wasn't our fault.
It didn't, honestly, that never came up in my religious training. Would you think it would?
Training?
Yes,
training. What exactly
yes,
do you know? What do you know that
what
you
the
could
fuck
call
else
training?
Would you call it?
What do you know? If training means you could do something from that.
I did. I did a bar mitzvah. I did.
Can you read Hebrew without the vowels?
I can take a run at it. I might get some vowel sounds wrong. Sure.
V'yishkadal v'yishkadesh v'reo hamor.
Yeah, that would be wrong like that.
I did see the show Transparent, which I enjoyed very much. I didn't even start at the beginning. And it's excellent. I think Jill Soloway's excellent.
You just flipped to an Amazon show in progress.
No, my wife told me after I got. We will now return you to an Amazon show that you weren't expecting. No, my wife tells me that secretly when I'm out of town,
her life doesn't freeze in place.
Right. She decided to watch Transparent. So she watched the first 7 episodes, and she was trying to sneak in another episode while I was out.
Aha.
And then I woke up, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
It reminded me of 6 Feet Under, which Jill Soloway was also on. I just like what she's doing there.
Yeah.
You know, and what's your take? You don't have to have a take.
I actually saw the first one, and I thought it was great, but it didn't stick for me.
Jeffrey Tambor is great.
Jeffrey Tambor, you can't go wrong with. Maybe on the Ropers, you could go wrong with them. But
what was the Ropers?
The Ropers was a spin-off from Three's Company with Norman Fell.
Oh, that must have been terrible.
Audra Lindley.
Was it terrible?
Yeah.
Well, the Three's Company was terrible, right?
Well, you know, I was that age.
I mean, if Don Knotts isn't funny.
Well, no, Norman Fell. I take Norman Fell over Don Knotts.
Did Don Knotts replace Norman Fell?
Yes.
Oh, so
when they went to do the
you're
Ropers.
talking about early Three's Company before they went
I like
commercial.
their old stuff.
Yeah, certain shows I didn't watch.
That was all one block. We talked about Happy Days too, and that was all. It was Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, and then like Taxi.
Yeah,
and it was like that was and I was age 8 and up in that zone, so it was like. I mean, Fonzie was actually cool to me as a kid. That's how young I am.
That I think is something about you not having the right upbringing.
He was cool
or a good role model.
He was cool among my peers as well.
Come on, I go with the Gilbert Gottfried take on him.
You can't guiltamundo me on this.
He said, Gilbert Gottfried, I have the perfect guy to play Fonzie. He's a Jewish kid. He looks nothing like Fonzie. What am I talking about?
He doesn't look like the real Fonzie to you? Is that your problem, really?
What was his name? Albert Fonzarelli?
Arthur Fonzarelli.
Arthur Fonzarelli.
Yes.
Now, was Michael McKean in that? No.
No, he was on Laverne and Shirley.
He was on Laverne
He was
and Shirley.
Lenny.
Michael
Lenny
McKean is one of the greatest actors. I love him so much.
Yes.
And he's a very great, I don't know how many times I've seen him in person, but he's always been, he's a true gentleman.
He seems like it, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to see him at Elvis Costello shows all the time.
And just because he was there?
Yeah.
But you didn't know who he was.
I knew who he was.
Did you say anything
he
to him?
didn't know who I was.
Did you say
the key
anything
to
to
this
him?
exchange or lack of it.
Oh, you never had an exchange? Maybe?
No, he would be there with Christopher Guest a lot of the time.
Now, Christopher Guest frightens me because I auditioned once for a Christopher Guest movie. You know what movie? Of course you don't know what movie. I didn't get the part.
What?
Huh?
What movie?
Maybe Best in Show. I don't know. I didn't get the part. And Christopher Guest was very downcast.
That's kind of his thing. It seems. That seems like.
I should have just ignored it.
Yeah.
But then maybe the thing I need to face is that even if he was in a good movie, maybe I wouldn't have done a good audition.
Why? Why face that after all this time?
I almost got a part last Friday.
Yeah.
I went in on this show, and I don't even know what the show was. And I'm starting to learn more about the AD. I'm reading a book about ADD called Delivered from Distraction, which I had years ago. I was distracted, but I started it years ago, but now I can actually read it because I have ADD, but I know I want to read it now. It's very important to me.
Right.
So, this book, what was I talking about?
Driven from Distraction?
Yeah, but how was I connecting that to what we were talking about?
You almost got a part.
Yes, thank you. Good. Now, this is what, you could have been providing this. First of all, the doctors, nobody knows why this is happening to me. Not that I'm forgetting what I'm saying, but the progression of it is getting worse. Nobody knows. And if I die, it's your fault. You should have done something earlier.
Okay, well, this goes from show to document then, doesn't it?
All right. I forgot again. What was it?
You almost got a part.
Oh, I almost broke the mic. All right, so I go in for this part last week. Now, you take out all the stuff where I don't sound suave.
Okay.
So I go in for this part, and I didn't realize before I had OCD and ADD that I was constantly running to be on time. Constantly, I would say for auditions, I've been there just about on time, but a couple of times late. And I didn't realize it was all because of both ADD and OCD. It's a combo thing. And so I didn't even look at the scenes. Like there were 4 scenes. I didn't know there were 4 scenes.
Yeah.
Because every time I get a part, I say to myself, all right, this time you're really going to do your homework with it.
Right.
Practice it a million times.
Sure.
I've done that before. Doesn't seem to help. I've done the thing before where I don't have the script with me. Big mistake. There's something about the audition process and the various ailments or disorders I have that makes it very hard for me to focus. But I was at least able to be myself during this audition as I was apologizing for not being prepared.
Okay.
And they put a pin in me, which they just took out today.
Okay.
How many people do they pin when they pin somebody for a part?
I don't know. Pins are cheap.
I know. In fact, it costs nothing.
It costs nothing to put a pin in anybody you might even think about hiring.
And one time, I went out for Modern Family.
I can't talk. I've got a pin in me.
One time I went out for Modern Family, and I love that show, and I thought I got the part. And then they said, don't shave. And they put a pin in me.
Okay.
And I got very angry about that whole thing.
So now I've got stubble and a pin.
Yeah, it really made me angry.
Yeah.
And then they took away the pin again.
Yeah, pin is not the pin.
But what does it mean?
A pin's a dick move, kind of, because it's not like a hold. It's not. They're not. It's a half hold. It's hedging your bet.
Why even give you? Oh, in other words, you think the guy they pin is the guy they don't want?
I think they go. It doesn't cost us anything to put a pin in this person and tell their agent. And then the agent gets to call their client and go, hey, they put a pin in you. And then everyone feels good for a day. And then you don't notice that you didn't get the part.
But you've been on the other side.
Yeah. We didn't have pins when I was kid. I've never put a pin in anyone.
No?
Not that I recall, no.
But it was good because I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people that they're saying I look like.
Yeah.
So there was Eddie Pepitone was there.
Sure.
And then there were a lot of guys. Everybody there was big except for me. And the guy living in a dream world. I couldn't believe it. I said, why are they calling a wiry, thin, a guy who's built like a whip? Why am I here with these old schlubs?
I guess they want the after version of these assholes.
Well, not only that, there's also a part in that where they show a picture of me from my yearbook, see how much I've let myself go.
Yeah.
They go, oh boy, time hasn't been kind to you. Don't just blame time. I say, I'm an alcoholic. Now, do you think I compete in that 50 to 60 look like an alcoholic thing?
If I was casting for let himself go, I wouldn't actually cast you. I would go Pepitone over Kindler on that one.
This is the worst conversation. It's making me feel good in the worst way possible by saying, no, I'm not Eddie Pepitone. But sometimes you think it's just you think the unifying theme is comedy, that they're a comedian, but not in this case.
Yeah, no.
Everybody was big.
Yeah, if the joke is this person has let themselves go, you don't fulfill that visual joke.
Okay, then let me ask this then. Why even put a pin in me?
I don't know.
Because the other guy could have been sick?
Right, exactly. They wanted an alt, and it doesn't cost anything to give a pin out.
That's true. I was so funny at the audition though. Oh my God, yeah. I was on. Because it's like a perfect audience for me.
Can you gain 20 pounds by Monday?
But I mean, I was like, I've done every joke that you can do at auditions. I've done the joke where you come out of the room and they say, is it normal that they tell you right then that you have the part? Like that one I've done.
Yeah.
And then
so you do it for the people in the hall.
In the hall, yeah, as I'm leaving.
Okay, you don't do it in the room.
No, not the room.
No, not for
I
the
used to
people
do a lot of joking in the
room.
room.
Do it for the people who will resent you making a joke, not for the people who will hire you because
nobody resents me. I'm a beloved figure.
I know you believe that.
I'm a beloved figure.
Yeah.
But when you're in, so what I used to like to do is I used to kid around in auditions. I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate auditions like
That's
poison.
Weird. Most people dig them.
But some people don't hate them, right?
They say they don't.
But it's awful. You haven't enjoyed it, have you?
I never enjoyed it. I don't enjoy it when I'm actually the hirer, even.
Right.
But I really didn't. I mean, I stopped going when I was going out on commercial auditions, and I would just walk through the room going, yeah, oh, that guy. Yeah, he's better than me. He's better, you know.
Commercial auditions are very deflating, but they were good to learn. I think I learned a lot from doing them. I don't want to be in commercials.
Yeah, I learned that very quickly, and therefore probably I'm not going to be much of an actor either. So,
did you ever go to the one? I don't even want to say his name, but the one who they teach the voiceover class in there.
No. Why would I need that, Andy?
Don't you think it's a conflict of interest to be teaching a voiceover class and also to be casting voiceovers?
No, not at all.
Why?
Because I'm the man who teaches the keys to success in this business, and I can spot success from a mile away.
Have we talked about the Verizon commercial? No, it's not Verizon. It's for something else.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Geico. I don't know what it's for, but the woman she's babysitting, and they get home. They go, "I'm charging you more for the babysitting,
right?
Because I had to order." You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Who is she? Verizon?"
Right.
Now, who says that in their real life?
What? This is like
who in their regular life references a Verizon?
I don't know. It's a commercial, Andy.
Yeah,
that they speak unnaturally in commercials,
that's
especially
not true.
Poorly written ones.
You ever see a commercial with Kevin Nealon in there? Boom. I'm buying that product, whatever it is. The guy cracks me up. If you crack me up, I'm buying your product. I don't care if it's napalm.
Yeah. The napalm spots are funny.
They are funny.
Yeah.
Because, I like the idea of a fire that doesn't go out, but this is ridiculous. Right?
Right. But who speaks like that? That's my question.
Who speaks like that? I charged you more. Who are you? Verizon? Who is this woman? The assumption on commercial land is that everybody is walking around putting down Verizon because they're so known for doing add-ons.
Yeah.
Then there's another series of commercials where they're monsters. They're like monsters.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah.
And the one guy goes, "You're not going to do the werewolf thing again."
Right.
We've talked about this, right?
Yeah. We can talk about it more.
But
we can do a whole bunch of open stage bits, in fact.
Open stage bits?
Yeah.
You call these open stage bits?
Yes, I do.
By the way, in case you're wondering what the subtext
Who talks
is,
like that in commercials? Oh, my God.
Who are you putting down now? Me or anybody like me?
I'm putting down you.
Here's the subtext, is that we told each other we need to go out for the throat more, for the jugular.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, go. People love when we fight. What are you doing? Are you stupid? For a long time, as you know, I would not use the word stupid. Did I tell you this one?
I don't know.
Okay, because the stupid, idiot, pinhead, they're all actual words that were describing mental conditions.
Yeah.
But now I don't think anybody remembers that. You got to use the word stupid.
I don't think did stupid describe a medical
think so.
Idiot
condition? For sure.
Idiot, yeah.
Yeah.
But stupid, I think you're always clean with.
I thought so.
Yeah.
But pinhead is an actual thing.
Yeah, as is dumb fuck. Dipshitism, that's also a big problem.
You can't use this as an excuse to do your chunk. About anything.
No?
No, because it's... Who my Bud Abbott?
Yeah, my big dissect the swear words chunk.
Dissect the square... Oh, or maybe we should do an update of the George Carlin thing. The words you can say.
Right. The words nobody cares if you say anymore. Dipshit. Who cares? Motherfucker. I don't care. Do you?
He went too far once when he said, the great George Carlin, when he said, "You get, I got on the plane." You don't get on the plane. You walk into the line. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. I had to check out for a couple of days.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Was he one of your favorites?
He was at a certain point in my life, yeah.
And so then I imagine you loved Robert Klein, too.
No. You know? I Can't Stop My Leg.
Well, that's a classic because the idea is that he can't stop his leg.
But Robert Klein was always like one notch less funny than his presentation would suggest.
But I wonder, because we were not children of the 50s like his album was.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I was a child of the 50s.
You maybe, yeah.
But he's older than me.
Yeah, he's like my parents' age.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But there's that great album cover where he's sitting in his room. Child of the 50s.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything by him.
It's okay.
The sucking question mark. I don't like anything that's too contrived.
Yeah.
Because I always think that when the comic gets into this sound,
Yeah.
That's like Robert Klein.
There's something explainy about him.
Very explaining.
But then, I'm not saying he's derivative. He had his own version of.
This is our version, by the way, of CNN's History of Comedy.
That's right.
It's just like their show, but you don't get to see the clips that aren't real clips.
And I'm a little color. I met him. He was on Later with Greg Kinnear once, and he was.
Oh, I could imagine he's a jerk.
He was a little off-putting, let's say. He wasn't a jerk, but it wasn't like, nice to meet the young comic.
No, he thinks a lot of himself.
Yeah.
And what was his thing? What if you could identify what his vibe was, what would you say his trip was that day?
Arrogance is the trip.
Arrogance.
Yeah, that was the trip. Now I'm bashing on Robert Klein, but
look, first of all, one thing we know, Robert Klein will never hear this.
This is true.
Nor most comedians.
No. They're too busy doing their own podcast.
Everybody has a podcast now.
I hear everyone has a podcast.
One of my new bits. What's up with these podcasts? More like, I don't have the rest of it.
No.
So now, I understand that you said that, I don't know how to lead into things, but you want me to try?
No.
Well, how did we get to the topic then?
It comes.
I have never seen you once. We've been doing this for how many shows? 20 shows? I've never seen you once go into a story smoothly.
You've never once listened to a show.
That is true.
Yeah. I can tell because for the last 5 or 6 shows, you've just been the first guest.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you would have listened, you'd see you were just the first segment.
Oh, like you go to do something else?
Right.
That was great. That's my show with Andy Kindler. And now
join me as I go live to the LA County Fair.
That would never happen because that would require you making a lot of effort.
Yeah,
There's no way you're doing a field piece at the LA County Fair.
No.
Even if we did it Ewell Hauser style. Now, what are you eating over there?
Is that corn? That's fantastic. You came all the way here and you got corn?
Are you getting this, cameraman?
Hey, look at this. Get this. Look at this. It's corn.
Look at this.
On a cob.
He got me through a bad drug trip, and I will always be grateful to Ewell Hauser for that.
Yeah.
He has a very soothing
Are you
voice.
tripping balls? That's fantastic. Come on. It's going to be all right, Andy Kindler. Follow me. We're going to have some menudo, and we're going to have some corn, and we're going to go to the Midway.
Is there menudo at a county fair normally?
I bet at LA County Fair there's a menudo stand, yes.
Is menudo a group or is it a soup?
It's both. It's a soup group.
Is it a soup made out of organ meat?
Yes.
Why are people doing this to organ meat? Don't we have enough parts of the body to eat? I don't want organs, and yet I've probably enjoyed it many times.
You're not a nose to tail man yourself?
Well, I like chopped liver, and when I eat chopped liver, I say, what is this, chopped liver?
I bet you do.
You smile because you love my puns and wordplay jokes.
Yes, I do, as much as I love chopped liver.
Now, I can launch into things, too. I have stuff to talk. Hey, anything new in your life?
Nothing's that new in my life. I've just been watching hurricane after hurricane on TV.
Yeah, now here's the thing.
We're now, by the way, before we start, everyone in Florida, despite what Andy wishes for you, I hope you're all doing okay.
Well, this is, of course, it goes without saying that I hope they're doing okay, because I don't really want to say it. I'm tired of thinking about others.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know how much pain there is in the world? I got to worry about Florida now? Here's the thing. I tweeted this yesterday. I said, whatever it was, you're not going to hear this. You'll hear it 12 hours, years in advance. But I tweeted that one day a flying house is going to kill, is going to kill a weatherman, and then they'll be done with this stuff. I can't take it anymore. They seem like they think they're heroes because they're being rained on. What is the psychological thing? They have no way to make their job interesting except when it rains.
I know it's an unbelievable.
Have you seen Cuomo?
I know.
He's like,
how can I? This is the only way I can get on camera in a T-shirt is to go to Florida and stand in the rain.
Too.
I know,
Anderson
absolutely.
Cooper. A whole hour tonight of him looking buff.
Let me do a commercial for my trainer here on CNN.
Unbelievable. I watched an hour today.
I did last night. I watched though, and I'm pretty sure it was Don Lemon being genuinely sadistic. because it was like Anderson Cooper, like he's like in his 12th hour of standing outside,
right?
And you can literally just hear the shiver in his voice, and he's like trying to keep his shit together, and he's like, oh, okay, we're gonna bring it. And I hand it over to Don Lemon, and Don is back in CNN Center, and Don goes, okay, thank you, Anderson. I'm going to keep you around. I want to ask you some questions about the day. He's like, okay.
Then did he laugh? And the Don Lemon?
No, not at all. It was all passive
Maybe
aggression.
Don Lemon is sadistic.
It was all passive aggression.
Well, Don Lemon's probably still angry because he had that snowstorm vehicle he was driving in one night. In the winter, it was supposed to be a big winter storm, so he had the CNN snow vehicle. And then it didn't snow that much, so he's just driving around town with a strange-looking car. Don Lemon, to me, Don Lemon does not have to worry about an ego. Don Lemon. He is very impressed with himself.
That's across the board in the CNN spectrum.
That's true. Whether it's Wolf.
I like, what's his name, Berman?
John Berman.
Yeah, I like him.
I have trouble with him.
Yeah.
I like him better now that he's outside and doesn't look like a game show host.
Yeah, he was, he had the right amount of wariness to, he looked like a little Jew on the pier.
And one night he said one of those things I can't stand. He's like, well, I'm getting people on Twitter on both sides angry at me, so I must be pretty much got it right. No, that's not means you got it right. The fact that everyone's angry at you.
Really? That's coming from you?
No. Everyone's angry at me. That's a given. Okay. That doesn't mean I'm right.
All right.
It's just sad.
I saw you like double defending your Florida joke on Twitter.
Yeah. Now here's what happened. Okay. So first of all, when I'm watching, nobody objected. I didn't get any weather persons objecting to my, one of these days they're going to get hit by a flying house.
Right. Did people object to that joke?
No, nobody did.
Okay, yeah, right. It's not very objectionable.
Well, here's how that joke would be objectionable. If
you said, I hope one of these guys gets hit by a flying house, that's a different joke.
That's another joke. Or if you tweeted it right after someone got killed by a flying house.
Right, that would be inappropriate.
If you said, you know what, that's something I always was hoping would happen.
Right.
So here's my argument about why people are wrong about this. About criticizing my joke. And one guy said to me...
Oh, are you going to tell the joke?
Yeah, the joke is... what is the joke? Why don't you read it?
I'll look it up.
You give a read.
I'll give it a look up.
While Josh is... Josh is has won no awards. He never, when he's been on a show, was the go-to guy to pull up something.
No, I'm not your pull-upper.
I hate to admit it, right? I hate to admit it, or...
I'm not proud of this... But I admit that when it comes to large sections of Florida, I've been rooting for the storm.
Right. Okay. Now, I will tell you why. You may not think that's a funny joke. I don't even care. Of course, I do care because all of my self-worth is based on what you think about me.
Okay, then you may or may not like this.
Okay. My point is that when these I'm very careful about tragedies. I'm not as funny as like Jeselnik. Someone like Jeselnik can really nail something when, I don't go for that kind of joke.
Right.
This was a joke that is about me admitting to having a thought that's not a great thought.
Yeah.
So it's really a joke that reveals what we've all thought about, but it's not a joke where I'm wishing people got hurt by the storm, nor is the storm currently having millions of people get killed.
Okay, so first of all, it is a joke where you're wishing people get hurt in the storm because you're admitting to wishing that people get hurt in the storm.
No, you're admitting to having that thought.
Right.
That's not the same thing.
That thought is a wish that people get hurt in the storm.
But that's what you don't really wish that people are going to get hurt.
No, I understand that.
Right. That's why it's a joke.
Right.
Because you're saying, I hate to admit it, but this has crossed my mind.
But I hope these people die.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Look, if Rush Limbaugh...
Not die, but get wiped out.
If Rush Limbaugh got swallowed by a storm tomorrow,
right,
I wouldn't cry.
Right.
So if I wished that he got swallowed by a storm, how horrible is that? Why is that bad? Why is it bad? Okay, I'm assuming you're going to argue against the joke.
I'm not going to really argue against the joke. I'm going to argue against your indignance about people's reaction to the joke. That's
okay.
Because I don't understand why you're First of all, here's the thing. You say, like, Jesselnick does it best, is what you say, that kind of thing best.
Well, I'm saying that some people try to do things like that. I don't try to do those kind of jokes.
On a comedic level, here's my problem, is that it's like a double-hedged joke. It's like your real thought is, fuck Florida. That's the comedic thought. So then you go, then you added, I'm not proud of this to admit. So you're softening the joke there, and then you soften it more with large parts of Florida. So now it's like, that it's an offensive joke, but you've softened it.
What's offensive about it?
It's offensive because people are going through a shitstorm, and you're being the opposite of supportive to them.
But that's not what Twitter's about. Twitter's not about where I'm supposed to be manning the Twitter handle.
No, you can
and going, and every other tweet's going to be, give to this organization, give that. It's nothing. What I'm saying is the reason why I was indignant. It's none of the goddamn. I don't need someone telling me, I know you're trying to be funny, but no. I don't need that reaction.
Why the fuck would you tweet that fucking kind of joke out on Twitter when you know what Twitter is?
I did not know.
Honest
at all.
to God, you had no idea. Then you're an idiot.
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you because I think that don't you sometimes tweet things that go up to you go, look, I want to say something terrible about Trump.
Right.
But I don't want to go over the line.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I was doing. This storm there's no Katrina angle to it. There are people dying every minute everywhere. There's nothing. When I tweeted that joke, it was not in the face of a tragedy. It was a 4-day event that was going along that I would have had to have waited 5 more days. I'm just saying.
No, it was in the midst of the actual day.
Nothing was going on.
It was hit. There was a hurricane.
Doesn't matter. They knew that it wasn't going to be a 20-foot surge. It's still no 20 feet surge.
Right, but if I'm in Florida and I read that tweet, my first reaction is, yeah, fuck you.
Why do you have to be reading the tweet if you're in Florida? You really think if you're in the middle of a thing, you're going to go on Twitter and go, oh, this guy's jerk? I don't think I would ever in 1 second of my life care that someone was making a joke about Florida. Especially since a lot of people.
Right, but they cared enough to just make a tweet, which is about how much you cared. But you.
I do. I find it very offensive when people think that. I just think something very offensive about people thinking that they know you or that it's appropriate to go, yeah, I know what you were trying to do, but no.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous to because it's Twitter, you can't control how people consume what you put out there.
I can control how I react to it.
You can, absolutely.
Right. So I think it's shitty.
But to be surprised by it is
I'm not
ridiculous.
Surprised by it. I just think it's shitty. I think it's shitty. People go, you have to actually be thinking, you have to actually be assuming that you think I want people to get hurt. You have to actually even go past it. No one's gotten hurt, but you have to actually imagine it. Are you really saying, Andy, that that you wish that these people would be crushed by a house? That's why I think I did something. Would you say where I was taking off of the joke? I think I was doing fine with the joke. I was, yes, I was not trying to make the joke like I couldn't care less if these people die. But it was a joke about a thought that came to my head that people think about. And it wasn't when a tragedy happened, like 1,000 people died that hour. So that's how I defend it. Okay. And I won't,
I don't know. You got into a position where you're literally yelling at people. It's not offensive. It's funny on Twitter.
Because, okay, well, that's another thing. Putting aside the fact that what you should do on Twitter or what you shouldn't do on Twitter, which I know is a whole thing. I tried to decide what do I expect? What am I getting out of me responding to somebody? Right.
Right.
Okay. Well, when that guy said you're a real piece of shit, it did make me happy to say you're a verified jerk. Okay. It made me happy. And so if you say, what did I get out of it? I got out of it that feeling in that moment that I wanted to say something back to him.
Right.
But because I'm so scared, there's a part of me that's like, don't say anything because they'll come find you and kill you. And that's, I think, is another thing of way to live your life where you're so worried all the time. Sometimes I just feel like, fuck it. This guy is fuck you is what I feel like saying. That's all I feel like saying about it. I would never go up against a comic, especially a comic I respected. These people are following me, and then all of a sudden just turn on a dime, like, okay, Andy, no.
Yeah. Yes. That's how Twitter is.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it totally
is. Do you
is.
think that on Twitter?
Well, there's no bond when someone follows you. It's not like you've.
But that's not true. I know a lot of people. You know a lot of people on Twitter who are following you. You know a lot of people who are.
Yeah.
So you're friends with them. No, you're friends with them. So sometimes if you're friends with, like, sometimes if someone's like, because that's when it really gets really bad, is if it's a comic or something like that, I get into an argument, then you really do care because it's somebody you know.
Sure.
But I don't necessarily buy that Twitter's like just a thing that you shouldn't, it's part of life. I mean, whether it bothers you or not.
But if you're broadcasting a joke with some sort of edge to it, can we agree that the joke had an edge to it because it was about Florida during a hurricane?
The joke is not offensive.
Okay, that's not. I mean, that's your opinion. You can't say that it's not offensive if people were offended.
People said Colbert was offensive about the Chinese things.
Right.
The point is that Colbert has a track record.
Right. But
so if someone has a track record.
But I don't see what you're, I mean, I don't buy the quality of this joke.
I'm not saying it's a great joke.
Right.
I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with it. It's not wrong because it's raining in Florida that I did that joke. It would be wrong if 4,000 people died.
And don't get me wrong. I don't have any moral issue with this joke. But I see that if you're broadcasting this joke to 100,000 people, that a certain percentage, and in this case, a pretty fucking low percentage of that number,
I was surprised at it because to me, it's like, why? To me, I don't see the difference between that and the Weatherman. It's the same joke to me. You're watching the Weatherman.
I disagree.
Well, I'll tell you why I think it's the same joke. Okay. And you can then say no. It's a joke about something, a thought that you're thinking, I wish a house would come and kill this guy because I'm sick of watching 500 hours of this rain coverage. So you're not really wishing that the guy was dead.
But that wasn't your joke. Your joke is one of these days that's going to happen and this is all going to come to an end.
Well, that's expressing my own hostility.
Right, but that's not, I mean, that's just as much expressing your concern. Like, I can't believe someone's going to get hurt out there. No,
that's not what I was thinking. I thought it was annoying. It's just so annoying.
It didn't come off as purely hostile. It came off as this is foolish.
Well, this didn't go well. I thought this would go better, but this didn't go. It was one of our, I thought this would be up there with our classic fights. Maybe it's too soon. Too soon. I'm really kind of like, I really can't stand people in some ways on Twitter because I really do think it's the first time I saw the other side of people wanting to get outraged.
Yeah.
Because I normally take the position when people hate jokes or they get offended by jokes. I feel like, okay, they have the right to get offended by jokes. They're whatever it is, if it's jokes about rape or, whatever. I always think there's not a clear answer to these issues where you touch people's buttons. So I think on Twitter, they're looking for an opportunity to take anyone down.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely they are.
And that's bullshit. I didn't cause the rain. It has nothing to do with me.
No, but it was a provocative joke and you provoked people.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, folks, we really like you to write in about this because this is our new thing. We're trying to have a fight on every show. Have we had a fight on every show?
No, I don't think so.
Also, I can't tell how crazy I sound. Really crazy?
I don't think you sound really crazy.
I think I do. I think I do.
I don't know what you're defending exactly.
No, I think you know what I'm defending. I don't think you agree with it. You know what I'm defending. You're saying, here's what you're saying. Well, and in fact, I would say this is the difference between me and you.
What you're saying to me is I decide what's offensive.
No, I don't decide that. I decide for myself what's offensive.
Right.
But what I'm saying is if these people, this to me is not legitimate feedback. I know what you were trying to do, but no. Because all that says is that...
That's just like low-level snark.
Right. I'm saying you can say that, but don't expect that people aren't going to respond to it. Because this is what happens all the time.
I don't think they do.
I think they are surprised when I come back to them.
Well, yes. Well, that's Kindler. That's you're always surprised by the intensity of your response to certain things.
No, but I don't
never know exactly where the tripwires are.
I don't know how loud my voice is because I know that I have a problem when I'm arguing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that I yell at my wife, but I have to.
You're emphatic. You're an emphatic person.
I have to be very careful because it doesn't come out. It doesn't come across like it feels to me.
Right.
Because I can look at your face and you're like, I don't know if you're reaching for 911. I don't know why you're loading up Thorazine.
No, it's in this case, because we've gotten to this level of argument before, I feel fairly safe going there.
Well, the reason why is because
that I'm just arguing an intellectual point here, really.
Yeah, because we have to do these goddamn podcasts. This is your idea. If this leads to a fist fight, or at least to me getting closer to your brother.
Yeah, either way.
I got his book today. Unbelievable. I don't think you've sent me one book in all of the time that I've known you.
I gave you a box set.
Oh, that's true.
Uh-huh.
But also, when you gave me the box set, this is what I thought was odd. You went, no, are you going to really like this? Because you're not going to like it. I don't want to give it to you. So now all I think about...
No, I didn't say, are you going to like it? I said, are you going to watch it?
Are you going to listen to it?
Are you going to watch it?
That's true. But now I feel like you don't have enough to give away. I have to return it.
Because you're just copying to the fact that you're never going to watch it.
I am going to watch it.
Uh-huh.
But there's a problem with stuff. The wife and I, we have all these movies we want to watch.
Uh-huh.
I've been wanting to watch she saw El Norte, but I've never seen it. And we have all these things on DVD.
El Norte, he goes with.
Is that what it's called?
No, it is what it's called. It's just so out of fucking nowhere.
Well, she says it's a great movie. Like the sprinklers go and the first scene, and something about the first scene she says is great.
Yeah.
And then I have these other movies. There's a one Rolling Stones. Who directed a Rolling Stones documentary? Maybe about the Altamont. Give Me Shelter. It's called.
Give Me Shelter was the Maisley brothers.
Oh, they did it?
Yeah.
Well, how come I haven't watched it?
I don't know.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
And it's great, right?
Yes.
Do you see the guy actually get killed?
No. No. I'm not in my recollection. No.
And I do want to say, if you do go, first of all, if you were going to hire security for your concert, I would think before you hire the Hells Angels.
Do you have anything besides pool cues to use as equipment?
Now, that being said, I don't think it's a smart thing to wave around the gun at a concert.
No. It was a bad scene.
Now, why was he...
You know what it was, Sandy?
What?
It was the end of the 60s.
I know. It really was. It was like, no, this is what... I know what you're trying to do. I know you're trying to be like Woodstock, but no. If that woman was criticizing.
That's right. I see what you're doing with this festival.
I see what you're doing with it.
But no.
But no. Now, here's the thing that I could never do. Marty Balin, is that his name?
From Jefferson Airport.
Yeah, he was like... I would be running off the stage and just, this is out of control. I quit show business.
Right.
But he was like yelling at the Hells Angels because they were punching him. Or
well, I remember you tweeting. I don't know. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I find myself rooting for the Hells Angels.
See, this is what you're pointing out is very true. I've been doing this style of joke since the 60s.
Right.
I feel bad about it, but I'm glad all the people died at Jonestown.
Right.
That was the first example of it.
I didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I kind of feel bad about this, but I have no sympathy for...
I want to kill 600 people. Hey, Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah.
Well, the funniest way that people killed each other, and then they did a sketch on it. It was on Saturday Night Live when they did the sketch about the people who they all killed. They all took poison and they all packed their bags like they were going to go to space.
Oh, right.
And then Will Ferrell's like, "We made it!" It worked. He's celebrating 2 weeks later. It worked.
What were they? I'm trying to think of what they were called.
They were like the
somethings.
They actually had some good stuff.
Yeah, the look was good with the tennis
Here's the
shoes.
thing: if you want to look at some of those people that are mostly crazy, David Koresh's music, excellent.
Right.
Charles Manson's music,
also strong.
Excellent.
Strong.
Now, is it true that Dennis
Wilson
liked Charles Manson's music? I find that hard to believe.
I don't know if he liked the music or he was just helping him out by passing on a demo, or I'm not exactly sure of the whole story.
But it is possible that Charles Manson could have been. It's technically possible that he could have been an amazing musician.
It's technically possible.
Have you heard any of his stuff?
He also could have been a murderer with a hit record. We don't know.
That Charles Manson thing, I think that guy's a bad guy. I'm just going to say it right now.
I was on the fence until the swastika, and then,
I was so, now that's before your time, the Charles Manson thing. I was.
My wife is fascinated with it.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
In fact, every time I go past Cielo Drive.
What do you think about the, what's her name getting parole? Leslie Van Houten.
She didn't, though, did she?
Yes, she did. She got granted parole.
She did?
Yes. Second time.
Wow.
The governor turned it down last time.
Well, I used to do a joke about the woman coming up for parole. What are you going to say in your defense? Look, Do you realize that cold weather killed more people than I killed in my little spree? They don't put the clouds in jail. I can't take back the lives of the people I've murdered, but I've made some lovely necklaces.
There you go.
What do you think? I don't know. It's such a weird, when you get to that, every time you hear the description of the murder,
right,
you start to go, ooh, ouch. I mean, I can't imagine. I don't really understand it. I don't understand it. I guess you have to really believe that she had changed or what?
I certainly believe I have no trouble believing she's changed since she was a teenage girl in in the late 60s in LA. I'm in the weird position of not really caring. Because I really don't. I don't think she's a danger to anyone, but I also think a life sentence is perfectly appropriate.
Yes, it is appropriate.
But I feel the same way about the death penalty too, which is I think it's totally wrong and we shouldn't have the death penalty, but whenever someone who I'm pretty convinced did it gets put to death, I don't mourn very hard.
No, you don't mourn when it's someone really evil, but the idea that one innocent person could be killed is not good.
No.
And that it's improperly administered.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's
a deterrent.
I don't think it's a deterrent, and I don't think it's what civilized societies do. Yeah.
We don't do that. And first of all, if you're spending a lot of your day trying to buy expired drugs from this person and this guy won't sell it to you, and so if you're jerry-rigging your, what do they call it?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
When you kill somebody, this drug, that drug, lethal injection.
Oh, okay. Jerry, what?
Well, they're jerry-rigging it because this company won't make the drugs anymore.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So they're like saying, we have to buy something from here,
right?
And then we're going to use a guy's still.
Right, we'll use a horse tranquilizer.
Let me tell you something. I do not want to be in the position of being on death row.
No one wants you.
I don't think I would do well.
No one wants you there. It wouldn't be good for you.
Do you think I would be able to?
You wouldn't thrive there.
Do you think I would be able to focus on ordering a nice last meal, or would I be too upset?
I think your ADD would be all over the place.
I'll have the steak. No.
Wait, let me look on the DoorDash. Let me see.
You certainly wouldn't think about having a lean cut.
No.
You wouldn't not have the gravy. This is hilarious. My hilarious chunk. Death row chunk.
Have you ever seen those? There's a photo series of death row inmates' last meals, and they're the actual meal is like on a tray, and you see what it looks like.
Oh my god!
And they tell you like who the murderer was, and this is their meal.
And do they ever look good?
Oh sure, sometimes it's like a pile of fried chicken, and sometimes it's like 2 cookies and and a bag of Cheetos, or just sometimes they're making a statement and sometimes they're just trying to get a good meal.
Well, I just think I want to avoid it. I want to avoid being on death row, so that's all I care about right now.
I think so far you're murder free as far as I know.
Now,
I mean, you wish death on people constantly, but
oh my god! Just when we gotten over this. Oh my God. What else happened online today that was interesting? Oh, I don't know. Now look, I want to lead you into this Michael Moore story, but you won't. You keep wanting to bring it up on your own.
Because I don't actually have a Michael Moore story.
Bring it up though, and then we'll debate it.
I saw the other night. He's got the show on Broadway.
What is the show called?
It's like The Terms of My Surrender, I think it's called, and it's And I read the review in the New York Times is like, it's not preaching to the choir, it's bragging to the choir.
Oh, now I want to see the show.
Yeah, it's all just him apparently talking about all those times he annoyed people. And aren't that cool?
Oh, I see.
But I saw the other day, I saw what I took to be a sign that perhaps his show wasn't doing that well when he took the entire audience out for hot dogs.
So he's not Andy Kaufman.
No, but he apparently thinks he is. But I saw this. I mean, my first thought when I saw this news article was, Michael Moore takes audience out for hot dogs. And I'm like,
yeah,
wouldn't it be cheaper to just write a better closer?
Why does he want to do a one-man show? Is it a one-man show?
It's a one-man show.
Nobody needs a one-man show from him. He's a documentarian.
Yeah.
Make
and
one
his
of
documentaries are one-man
I've never liked his stuff. I know you love him.
No,
I don't know why I'm saying that.
I did like Roger and Me, and I liked,
Yes.
But
I didn't like Bowling for Columbine because Bowling for Columbine tried to compare us saving people in Kosovo to the kids in Columbine.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like
he's weird.
His docs are like written more like late night talk shows almost.
Yeah.
It's like let me come up with what I'm showing and then pick a device to show it, as opposed to shooting something and figuring out.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a
lot of contrivance.
Everything is predetermined.
Yeah, everything is contrived.
He's not learning anything.
That's a very good point. Whereas a guy like Errol Morris is probably learning something.
Yeah, I mean, to me, all the great documentarians are trying to unfurl a story, and not create a story.
Yeah. Because when you create it, it usually isn't a good documentary if you just say it's a propaganda film then.
Yeah, and I think most of his films are total propaganda. And I'm not that I'm on the opposite side of his point of view on a lot of it, but it's total propaganda. Well, just like Oliver Stone is propaganda.
Right. And there are a series of movies that have been made that I can't stand, like that Waiting for Superman, where they just basically trash teachers.
Right.
And celebrate Michelle Ray.
Right.
And the movie Gasland. Because I'll tell you, the thing is, my brother's teacher from college said, he was giving some speech. He says, it is a problem, fracking, but it doesn't mean everything you see in a movie about fracking is true. Where they're turning on their faucet and right, gas is coming out. And I just think on the left sometimes we have this tendency to buy any documentary that's holds up what we think our side is, or maybe that's across the board.
I think it's across the board, and especially if you have that image which traveled from Gasland of the faucet being, lighting the faucet with a Bic, so you have flames coming out of the faucet, that's a compelling image, and because of the internet, that image can spread,
right?
Right. But it becomes like, the Muslims dancing during 9/11.
Yes.
That,
you saying
Trump swears he saw. Yes.
Well, for a long time, I didn't have to buy disposable lighters. I would light my joints from the faucet.
Right.
From the gas lamp. Right. I don't know. There's some of these people, these activists, the people who really kind of got on my nerves. I don't know his name, but some of the Sarandon, of course.
Yeah. Everyone wants to fight right now. Like you were saying, it goes back to the same thing we were talking about earlier, except, with political points.
Everybody wants to fight. That is true.
Everyone is looking for a fight, and.
Well, also, I think that anytime the people in the media, they keep having this tendency to try to normalize him again, Trump. Like, deal with it like it's a real thing.
But it is. It is a real thing.
Yeah, but like this guy Peter Baker on the Times, he said that Donald Trump might be the first independent candidate we've had in 30 years.
Right.
He's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. I don't think you can talk about him that way. He's a nutcase who he's not an independent. He's not an independent.
Yeah, but he's an independent in the sense that he's not tethered to any ideology. But he's not. He's not an independent in the sense that his ideology is that of an independent. He's just untethered to anything.
Well, I hate
any position.
I hate the media because I feel like the media hated Hillary. They just hated her, and even regardless of what you feel about Hillary, they were just like, in this election, it was all like, she's this one and he's that one. So I think they wanted to keep going because it makes them money somehow. I know that's a generalization. There's certain parts of the media that I just can't stand them.
No, I'm with you. That's the blood that's on the media's hands.
I know
that, and it's the equivalency of the two, and the showing every fucking minute of every fucking speech of Trump's, and
yeah, and if I had been a member,
it was a year of spectator slowing
to watch the thing.
Yeah. It was that same instinct. It's the same thing that causes traffic jams. Is that
they were like addicted to him with like Don Lemon. All these people were like they couldn't get enough interviews with Trump.
Well, and it's I couldn't get enough watching it either, and I hated it while I was watching it, but I couldn't fucking turn away either. And
because I think any normal person would think this guy's hanging himself by the fact
Well,
that
but
he's
that's
a nut.
what that was true of the media too. I mean, the media couldn't fucking believe what they were seeing, and you can't turn your camera away from that. You know,
That's true.
and that's the
Maybe
that's the conundrum to me is, and I think he understands that dichotomy is that I just used a conundrum and dichotomy.
That's right. That's interesting.
I'm trying to up my game, so you won't go over to my brother. But that's the thing is it's like, as much as it's like we can't keep giving this guy airtime, you're also going, this is the fucking Republican candidate for the presidency of the United States,
Right?
Saying this shit. How can we turn our camera off?
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like they've been soft on him since he was elected.
Right. No, the fact they have. But, I mean, it's like, if I was a member of the media that let us go into Iraq and said nothing, I think I can't even believe I would continue my job afterward. There's a certain arrogance to them that they've gotten so many things wrong over the years, and they never really change how they do.
I don't know.
Business.
I honest to God, I think that there's been some of the best
Since the
newspaper
election.
reporting in this past year that has been in years and years.
Yeah, but not before the election. If
Not
you look
before,
at the New York
no,
Times,
but at
they're
least
like,
But what I'm saying is that at least it's one of the only institutions that has upped their game.
Oh, I agree with you because they have some great reporters.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some amazing reporters, and it's usually the people who
Like
are
it has reframed the importance of journalism for journalists too.
Yeah, because it's like life and death.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I love that the guy who Fahrenheit or Farrengold, the guy who kind of found out like that he gave no money to charity when he said he was giving money to charity.
I think it's David Fahrenholt.
That's right. Yeah. So no, there have been some of the best. I love reporters is what I really meant to say.
Yeah.
And what I like about a reporter is when they can show me that they're not afraid to get rained on. That's the thing. That's where, to me, a reporter shows his. Is it metal or metal?
Metal.
I don't know about that. Oh, really? You don't want to meddle in something.
Right.
But then there's METTLE? I think you're right.
Yeah, I was right. A person's ability to cope with difficulties or face a demanding situation in a spirited or resilient way. METTLE.
We're very smart Jews, me and you. I mean, I don't think. Well, we're not that smart. You're smarter than me. Well, I don't even know that.
Nah, okay.
But I wanted to be a genius. I wanted to be a genius.
Yeah.
Like one of these Jeopardy guys.
Sure. It's never too late to become a genius.
I think it is too late.
Really?
Because I think it requires a lot of learning, with an apostrophe. Stuff like that.
Well,
I really have been lucky, though, feeling that in California. Like, I look at all these places that are having terrible tragedies, and they're all places I've mostly been to.
yeah.
But then I say to myself, how can I wouldn't see? I feel like here we're safe from that. Maybe not, huh?
I don't know. When you
Do you think we're going to be underwater like them?
No, we're going to be under rubble.
Oh, because of the earthquakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the earthquakes are.
I don't think we're going to get flooded. No, there's a mountain between us and the ocean, but I do feel like the earthquake could come anytime.
But we've already had an earthquake near us.
Yeah, 20 years ago, absolutely. They only happen every.
Yeah, but don't they happen? Wouldn't it happen in a different spot? Earthquakes are the only frightening thing about living out here, but it's pretty frightening.
It's pretty frightening.
Yeah.
I was less than a mile from here during that big one, and
I feel bad.
Sucked.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
I felt bad about pushing Susan down and running for the door.
yeah.
That's the only thing.
It wasn't cool.
I feel bad about actually yelling "every man for himself"
Yeah,
during the earthquake. During that earthquake, Susan said I was very brave in '94 at 4:31 in the morning on January 17th of 1994.
yeah.
Because she said I was pretty brave, but I don't know why I would have been brave.
I don't.
Because
Either.
my image of myself is,
Well, I was
the
earthquake and the earth and the shaking and the urine and the staining.
Now, where you're from,
Tornadoes.
no earthquakes up
Tornadoes.
there, right?
That's all we got. Tornadoes and blizzards.
Tornadoes sound terrible, too.
Tornadoes are kind of scary.
Have you seen one near you?
I've seen them, yeah.
And what'd you do?
I've never seen one like coming down the street at me, but I've seen funnel clouds, and I've seen a tornado touching down in the very far horizon.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain. When it's touched down, it touches down.
Yeah,
I don't understand anything about weather. It sounds like a gimmick to me. Weather. I don't even understand.
It is a gimmick.
Well, how could it start in Africa a storm? I don't even get it. I don't get it.
No.
Do you think you really understand it? I'll believe you. If you say, Andy, I understand it. When you see those maps on TV, right?
Yeah.
Those maps mean nothing to me. They keep swirling and swirling and swirling. It looks like they've made it to Florida, but then they say they're not even in Florida. What is the purpose of those maps? Do you understand them?
Yeah, better than you, apparently.
But are they showing you where it's going to be, or are they showing you where it is?
It's most recent motion, basically.
Yeah.
They won't show you where it's going to be. They're showing you to what point it's gone.
But then when they tell
when
you
it's the radar image,
like it hit Cuba, and that saved us apparently.
Yes.
And yet we're not. And yet
because it lost energy when it went over land. When it's over warm water, it picks up energy.
Now, warm water. How is that not global warming increasing the effects of it?
No, I think it is.
But you can't say global warming doesn't start the storms. But it
intensifies the storms. And that was what was predicted.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to believe the global warming.
Really?
theories.
I'm glad you're finally on board. I'm so tired of having this argument with you time and time again.
Well, I didn't want to face it. I was for a little while.
I mean, you were happy because Florida goes first in this scenario.
Oh. I feel like we got in a fight. Here's my thing. I feel like we got in a fight, but I feel that way every second of my life. If it wasn't this fight, it would be something else I'd be worried about.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to be cured by now of everything. I'd be a better person.
Yeah.
Happier.
I think you're a little happier.
I am happier.
A little bit.
You know what? With the success of our podcast.
Oh, shit. It's hinging on that?
How are our numbers today?
Oh, they're great.
Are we losing steam?
We're not gaining a ton of steam.
So, in other words, the same 7 people are listening
but all 7. They're locked in.
I can't think of one clever thing to say right now. But I know I will.
It'll come around.
Do you think we should do a prayer circle?
A line. What would you take if you were going out, if you had to bail for a hurricane?
Oh.
You have 10 minutes to get out of your house, which is, I know, already a stressful situation for you. What do you take?
Weed.
Yeah.
Anything that, I think I would do a very Jewish kind of exit.
Your medications.
Anything that would be money.
I need some Kleenex.
Medications, jewelry.
Yeah.
I think clothes. I don't know. What do you take?
You're packing now. I'm talking about you have.
Oh, you have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, when you have 10 minutes, what do I have, a stick?
And you can only carry. I mean, you can take a bag, I guess.
I would carry.
But you're going through waist deep water with your stuff.
Photos of my wife. Is that what you want me to say?
No, I don't want.
What would you take?
I would take all my Apple products, pretty much.
Would you take the owner's manual?
I would.
I think, first of all, the people who are going through this, I couldn't do it, so I don't know why they're going through it. But just the whole idea that your house is ruined and then you come back to it later, I don't like that.
No, you just keep going?
I don't know. I've had so much difficulty doing what I've done in my life where nothing bad has happened.
Yeah.
I've made 3 moves, and they were the worst moves. The moves in with my wife before and then to the other place. It's just, moving is terrible. So if you had to move and then all your stuff, and actually that might not be so bad if all your stuff was just start again.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff that I like. That's why it's pretty much the laptop, because the data is important.
Right.
But there's not like a list of
my wife photographs. See, that would be
I mean, we'd be so busy with the dogs that.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think I could take anything.
You wouldn't take the dogs?
I would take the dogs.
I don't know why.
Take the dogs over the laptop. I'd take the dogs.
That is the sweetest thing I ever heard. But it's not that sweet. Of course you would take your cute doggies.
Of course you take the dogs.
Did we forget anything? Some of the breathing lives that were left in the house?
There was like 40 or 50 dogs asshole people left tied to trees in the fucking hurricane.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So like no fucking chance to escape even. So they rescued all these dogs.
Did they rescue them?
Yeah. And they claim they're going to prosecute as well.
I don't even understand the theory behind that.
I don't either.
They think they're going to come back and play with their dog?
I don't know what they think.
Oh, God. We don't like when there's something about you can't be mean to a pet. Just stop it.
No.
I hate to be controversial here, but I think we should treat pets nicely. Look at their faces. They're so cute.
Take it from the host of Andy Kindler's Pet Shop on Animal Planet.
Thank you. I'm an expert in the field.
Yes.
But I don't have anything currently.
What's the last pet you had?
The last pet I had was a cat named George after Curious George.
Really?
And that was with my ex-girlfriend, and he was the greatest cat.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, we had a cat all through my childhood who was the greatest.
Yeah.
And I don't just say that like everybody says that because they think it's their family.
Who was greater, the childhood cat or George?
I don't know. You know what?
No, one of them has to be the greatest. You just
Opsy.
call.
Oh, I'm not supposed to say his name.
Mopsy?
Opsy.
Opsy?
I named him after Op Art.
Huh.
Because he had a black nose and a white face. I don't know if your fake commiserating voice is good.
I named him after the medical test.
What medical test?
Biopsy.
That's terrible. That's also what we said when he died.
Oh.
Biopsy.
Biopsy.
Folks, we kid as a safety valve. As a defense mechanism.
Coping.
Did you watch any of the sports this weekend?
I did. I watched a little football. I watched the Vikings win their first game tonight. Did you watch the U.S. Open finals?
Yeah, that was amazing. Well, Sloane Stephens was great. I wanted Roger to win.
Yes.
And then when Roger was out, I wanted Del Potro to win.
Oh, did you? Are you a Nadal hater?
I'm not a Nadal hater, but I'm a Roger lover.
Yeah. Roger would not have beaten Nadal.
He said he would.
He was not playing well.
No, I think his back is hurt.
Yeah.
But another interesting thing that I heard was that Susan was telling me that the U.S. Open was playing slower. The courts are playing slower.
Yeah.
Than they used to play. Because Roger does better on grass where it's faster. And he does better in Australia where the courts are hard court, but they're faster. The U.S. Open courts being slower played into Rafael's. Well, I can't stand the tennis commentating. Chris Fowler drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because all he talks about is how the other guy's going to lose, and boy, he's going to lose, and oh boy, if he doesn't win this point, he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Maybe tennis commentating is hard.
It's a little binary.
Well, do you like Vince Scully? We love him, right?
I love Vince Scully. The beefy, rich taste of Vince Scully.
Is he being served as a meal?
Yes, he is. By Farmer John. Well, my favorite Vince Scully ever was, you know how sometimes when it's an impression is based on some phrase you get caught in your head 20 years ago?
Yeah.
This is what it was with Vince Scully. I was listening to the Dodgers one day, and he's like, "There's a young man on the field. Apparently, he thought it would make him a big man. Anything but." So for years, my impression of Vince Scully.
What do you mean, a guy?
Anything but.
Oh, I mean, a guy who ran down onto the field.
Yeah, a kid went out on the field. Apparently, he thought it would make him a big man.
Anything but.
Anything but. Brought to you by the rich taste of Farmer John.
I don't know about that impression. I'm going to have to really...
Anything but.
Now, Vince Scully is a baby.
Anything but.
Is this the sign that the podcast is...
It's always a dip into the bottom well.
What else is in the news? Not the news, though. You know what's off-putting about me?
What?
I've got nothing to say, but then I try and throw it on you.
Yeah. Yeah, I found that off-putting.
What do I do that you don't find off-putting, would you say? I'll give you time.
Your compliments are nice.
My grandfather used to go, "You're a good kid when you're sleeping."
Ah.
You're a good kid. I don't even get that. Because I'm not talking?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I got it right away.
You got it from knowing me, you mean? Or
Yeah.
You got it?
I knew right what he was getting at.
You know what's a good sign of a podcast? When your podcast partner looks at his watch.
It was a glance. It was a sideways glance.
Because you know...
Maybe I shouldn't have done the Tex Avery ooga eyeball thing, but...
I blame myself for this podcast. And the reason why was I argued with you. That made me feel bad. Then I had the argument. Then I had no material.
So, write us. Give us a shout. Give us some of
your way of saving the show was to launch into the email. Write us.
No, yeah. Tell me your better idea.
Okay, I got one. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, if you need to contact us.
Why would they need to contact us, Andy?
Right, it's a thought spiral. Are we getting a lot of emails?
We're getting some emails.
But how? I vow to return more emails. Who cares about me? Why have I made it like I'm such a big deal that people care about me? That's my problem.
So, Andy, where can they get us? If people wanted to contact us, where can they contact us?
At thought_spiral.
No.
Thought Spiral Show.
On Twitter, yes. Thought_spiral.
Thought Spiral Show at Gmail.
Thought Spiral Show at Gmail.
There's no underscore there?
No.
That's pretty good that you got that.
Yes.
How long did you buy it for? Because I'm thinking
it's on week to week. Also, go if you can rate us and review us at iTunes, disregarding this show. If you could rate our previous shows,
well, but
that helps us on iTunes. It's not just for our own pervy pleasure.
I don't know that there would be something for, but how do we know that this is going to be heard?
We can pull the plug right now.
But if we pull the plug on these things, how many can we pull the plug
show,
on?
the whole thing.
Why are we don't have the stick-to-itiveness that it requires to really make it in the podcast?
I don't know. We've gone 21 now.
That's true. I think that there's got to be. This is harder than doing your own thing. Is doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Because if I was just doing my own thing, it would never get done. What am I talking about?
Exactly.
When I would sit in a room and go, hey, if I had to do my own podcast without you, it'd be I don't even know what I would do.
You had your shot. You had the past 10 years to do that. And it didn't happen. So,
well, you know what, Josh? Tell me just technically tell me.
Yeah.
Can you get like public domain conversation to sprinkle in with this?
I think we can. I think I can call it.
Or sound effects.
Yes, I'll call we'll do like a HBO Dream On. I'll put a bunch of movie sound bites in there.
Or how about sex?
Knock it off, wise guy.
Wait, is that Dream On?
Yeah.
Knock it off, wise guy. I whenever I hear them still do it on...
It might be time for the show to be over. It's time to end this thing. Yes, exactly. Stuff like that.
When were those ever funny?
I don't know.
What are you, a wise guy? The whole concept that something you're going to take that's existing, you're going to play it over what you're talking about. Oh, that's great. That had to be not funny the second time it was done.
Probably. Although Mr. Jaws and those novelty records.
That's what I was thinking about. Was it the one where the guy goes into a song every second?
Yeah.
What was the premise of that?
It was the guy interviewing Jaws, you know. Hey, we're here interviewing Jaws. Do you think you'll catch the shark? I will. Oh, I get it. I see.
Wait, is that the song I will? Like
Love Will Keep Us Together.
Unbelievable. So, who was the guy who was interviewing the Jaws?
It was... Who was the actual guy?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but...
He did a series of these?
Yeah, he did a UFO one, UFO disco one. Dickie Goodman.
Right. And he made... Did he sing the song in it?
No. They were actual clips from records.
How did he get the rights to that?
I think using parody law protection, maybe. Here.
We are here on the beach where a giant shark has just eaten a girl swimmer. Well, And what did she say when you grabbed her? I know sharks are stupid, but what did you think when you took that first bite? Mr. Jaws,
I can't even believe that took off even past his house.
Gruber and I once did a live version of that. We did where he was the interviewer and I was with my friend.
I think I saw that.
It was in that same show that you and your sister played, in fact. We did Mr. Jaws live, and we would play the actual.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember not even. I got it, but I was kind of like not sure what it was.
Yeah,
that's so great. Do you know? I'm very embarrassed about this, but when we first got, and I can't get it out of my mind. When we first had answering machines,
yeah,
I actually put on. I'm going to just admit it to you. I actually put on, when you call me up, my line's engaged. I put that on.
You put the Beatles
song? The
song?
Beatles song or I sang it or something. So why did I think that was funny? So in that moment, I thought, you know what would be clever?
Yeah.
A thing from the Beatles song. So doesn't that mean I wasn't like 12 at the time? I think I was 30.
Right.
So what does that mean? Does that mean I'm a hack? Or that we all are hacks?
Well, you were doing your own crazy calls. Nobody's home. Nobody's home. Gee, I'm really sorry, but we're not at home.
The best one, though, was the rap. You can leave your tongue. You can
wait for the beep. You gotta leave your name. You gotta leave your number.
Wait for the beep. And then, leave your message at the tone. This may not just be, this may be the most depressing hour and a half how long have we done this now?
We've done 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't envy you at all.
Having
to put up with me?
No, I know.
Having to put up with my mood swings. I think if you just capture me acting like an idiot with the yelling, that would be entertaining enough.
We'll see.
I know.
Let's see if it holds up.
You can't end it. Well, that's another episode of Thought Spiral. Let's see if it holds up.
That's right. Wait for the beep.